Welcome to SAGU SportsFEED, your news source for Lions athletics, Sooner Athletic Conference sports, and NAIA headlines. This week's show marks the conclusion of our first season of SAGU SportsFEED. I'm Tim Roberts.
And I'm Adam Ferguson.
The men's basketball team traveled to Muskogee, Oklahoma for a match against Bacone College this past weekend. The Lions dominated the court with a 101-89 win and 57% shooting from the floor. Although SAGU scored the first 4 points, Bacone quickly took a 21-14 lead in the first half. By the end of the match, the Lions had made a comeback to steal the game. The leading scorer for SAGU was junior Joshua Kashila with 24 points on 9 of 18 shooting from the field.
The SAGU Lady Lions basketball team triumphed against Bacone College Saturday afternoon. By the end of the first quarter, SAGU had already built a lead of 26-14 on the court. The Lady Lions defense forced 22 total turnovers and 12 steals, which led to the final score of 78-54. The lead scorer for SAGU was senior Lexi Rich with 21 points. The Lady Lions' next game will be held at SAGU's home court in Waxahachie on December 3rd at 6 p.m. Coming up, we will look at the SAC news and players of the week. We'll be right back.
Did you know that out of the 10 fastest growing cities in the United States, 5 are in Texas? After you complete your degree, you'll most likely be looking for a great place to start your career. Why not the Dallas-Fort Worth area? DFW is one of the best places in the nation when it comes to employment after you graduate. Among the 12 largest metropolitan areas in the country, Dallas ranks first in the rate of job growth and second in the number of jobs added. Most students gain internships at businesses, churches, and organizations to sharpen their skills. And those internships often lead to full-time jobs. If you're looking for a great place to start your career after graduation, join us in Waxahachie, Texas, just south of Dallas and Fort Worth. Experience the area for yourself. Go to sagu.edu/visits for more information.
Welcome back. 2 offensive juggernauts clashed as the highest scoring teams in women's soccer this season faced off last Saturday. Number 9 ranked USAO battled it out with number 20 Oklahoma Wesleyan University in a thrilling match where USAO triumphed in a 3-2 victory. USAO took the first lead courtesy of a goal from Emma Rice on a penalty kick. The Drovers extended their lead to 2-0 when Mackenzie Hollub scored off an assist. Oklahoma Wesleyan fought back, scoring just a minute after Hollub, leading to USAO being ahead 2-1 going into halftime. Following the break, Mackenzie Hollub scored her second goal of the game off an assist by Aubrey Ruttman. Oklahoma Wesleyan cut the deficit to 1 on a penalty kick in the 72nd minute, but in the end, they were no match for USAO's defense, closing the game 3-2. With the win, the Drovers advanced to the NAIA Women's Soccer National Championship in Orange Beach, Alabama. They will face Westmont at 1:30 p.m. Tuesday, December 3rd.
Top-ranked Oklahoma City University captured its 5th NAIA Men's Cross Country Championship Friday at Fort Vancouver National Historic Site. OCU totaled 110 points, with Mark Shaw nabbing his second individual national title. Oscar Kipkoros took 5th by completing the 8,000-meter race in 25 minutes and 0.7 seconds, averaging a time of 5 minutes and 2 seconds per mile. Max McNeil finished 13th to seize All-American honors for the 3rd year in a row. OCU's head coach Matt Aguero has now won back-to-back men's cross-country titles. The Stars men's cross-country team have won national championships in 2013, 14, 15, 18, and now 2019.
Now let's take a look at some of the Sooner Athletic Conference Players of the Week. This week's men's basketball player of the week is Luke Harper of John Brown. Harper averaged 23 points and 4.5 rebounds and assists per game in the Golden Eagles conference opening sweep of SAGU and Texas Wesleyan. This week's women's basketball player of the week is Nicole Gleason of Texas Wesleyan. Gleason spearheaded the Lady Rams to a 53-50 win over John Brown with 14 points, 12 rebounds, and 3 blocked shots. Finally, this week's wrestler of the week is freshman Jimmy Balazi of Lourdes. Balazi went 5-0 on the week and helped the Gray Wolves go 4-0 in the John Carroll duels on Sunday.
Now taking a look at the Sooner Athletic Conference standings, the top 4 in men's basketball. MacU leads the way at 2-0, while John Brown sits second at 2-0 as well. Wayland Baptist at 2-0, number 3, and Langston at 1-1, sitting at 4. Over at the women's side, Oklahoma City leads the pack at number 1, undefeated, as well as MacU, USAO at 2-3, both undefeated, and Texas Wesleyan at 1-0, sitting at number 4.
Coming up after the break, we'll give you the latest rankings for NAIA basketball, and you won't want to miss a very special commentary by our own Tim Roberts. We'll be right back.
At Southwestern, we endeavor to offer more than the average college curriculum. producing men and women whose lives are pleasing to God. And that's worth everything.
Welcome back. Let's take a look at the 2019 preseason men's basketball poll. Number 1, Georgetown of Kentucky at 33-4, and then at number 2, the Masters out in California at 27-6. Wayland Baptist right down the road in Texas, 24-8, coming in at number 3, and at number 4, William Penn in Iowa at 22-12. Moving on to the women's basketball top 4 poll for this past week, Freed Hardeman in Tennessee at 34-3, number 2, Campbellsville, Kentucky 33-3, Oklahoma City at 33-5, and then the Masters out in California 33-5. Now, let's go to Tim Roberts with a very special SAGU SportsFEED commentary.
The NAIA football playoffs are underway, but let's just call it what it is. November Madness, a spectacular tournament kicking off with 8 games on a beautiful Saturday. 5 of them were thrillers going down to the wire. And don't worry, the 1-game elimination format didn't unfairly derail any championship seasons. 6 of the 8 higher-ranked favorites won. 4 weeks from now, the NAIA will have a new champion, and that team will have fought through 4 highly ranked opponents. They'll be the undeniable champ. By now, it should be clear I'm subtweeting the NCAA and their so-called college football playoff. They could copy this format in a heartbeat, but instead we'll get a month of mediocre teams scrapping over the Mario's Lawnmower Repair Bowl or whatever, while 4 teachers' pets get the nod to compete for a title. Okay, look, no one is saying that Morningside would hang with LSU, but by the end of this season, the NAIA will have one true champion, and the NCAA will always be left to wonder. Now, let's head over to Chalk Talk with Maddie.
The SAGU Lady Lions have had a great season so far, and so today I wanted to highlight a few of our key players and how when they do their job, our team ultimately becomes successful. That's one of our themes this year, is working together as a family, working together as a unit, and when we can do that, we ultimately will have success. So the first player I do want to highlight is Ariel Horton. Ariel Horton came in this year as a DS, and she's been a fire on the back row. She's one of our best defensive players, and she's truly made an impact. In this play, you're going to see her dive for a ball that ultimately would have been a point for the MACU Evangels. She gets that ball up, Sophia's able to set her outside, and then ultimately we get a kill for a point for the Lady Lions. The next person I do want to highlight is our libero this year, Nikki Almaguer. She's a junior this year, and she has really led the court on the back row in digs. Here you're going to see a ball that is put into play. It's kind of crazy. The ball is shanked, and she throws her body out, gets that ball over, and ultimately allows the play to keep going. The next person I do want to highlight is Jancy Akers. She's one of our middle blockers this year, and here you're going to see a great terminating block. Now we're going to look at the offensive side of the SAGU Lady Lions. The first person we're going to look at is Sophia Ivy, the Lady Lions setter. Here you're going to see one of my favorite things that she does is a dump. She jumps up with her left hand, tips the ball, and it really does throw the other team off. It makes them stay on their toes, it makes them have to move, and always be ready for that. Next is going to be Emma Tompkins. She is a right side freshman this year, and she has come in with a bang. Here you're going to see a great set, and she slams that ball to the floor. She has been an awesome offensive player this year for the SAGU Lady Lions. Next, we're going to look at Ava Myers, who is another freshman this year. She has come in as one of our starting outsides, and she has done a great job of being a force on the front row. Here you're going to see the ball is put into play. It gets a little hectic. The ball is put into play by our back row player. The ball is passed over, and Ava Myers jumps up and swings and hits the ball straight down, which is called a happy birthday ball. The final person that we're going to look at is Alexis Mueller. Alexis Mueller is a sophomore this year, but she has come in with a full force as one of our top outside hitters. Here you're going to see her get a great kill against this team here. She swings down the line, which is kind of her signature swing, and ultimately almost always gets a point. Now let's head over to Andrew Pena with this week's Pride Profile.
Maddie Harlan is a senior volleyball player whose calling has been solidified here at SAGU.
The Lord, using this team and using Coach Moore and using my professors and things like that, He has definitely done a huge work in my life of teaching me who I am on the court, off the court, in my future career as a social worker. I've grown more of just like being sure of myself and just being excited for what the Lord has, knowing that like He is my identity and not who I try to be.
From when Maddie first came here, she was a freshman trying to earn a spot on the floor, and all of a sudden she wins a starting job. But the off-court growth has been unbelievable.
I grew a lot. I know my freshman year, I remember coming in just trying to be someone that I wasn't and trying to create an image for myself.
We started off really immature and freshmen, and then we've really grown into like who we are now. And it's as we've grown like grown together too. So it's like we've always been together.
Taking on the responsibility of the Blue Out Games was an example of Maddie's growth in leadership.
Instead of doing a pink out, we do a blue out, which is helping raise funds for colon cancer research.
My great aunt actually had colon cancer and had just passed away from that. And so that was really difficult for me. And I remember saying, you know what, like I still want to keep this tradition alive.
She kind of saw that need and saw that empty hole that no one was really taking charge of, and she stepped in. You can definitely tell like her energy and passion goes into that like 100%, and just everything she does is 100%.
Coaching her, my job is to help develop her into the things that she is being called to do.
When Maddie was young, her parents fostered children, sparking her desire to love the unwanted.
My family actually fostered and adopted. My sister actually came into my life when I was 10, she was 15. In that time, I remember just kind of clinging to the fact that, okay, like the Lord is still good and He's placed her here for a reason. And her situation is crazy and seems terrible from her past, but the Lord is still good and He's still a redeemer and He's still a healer. But through that whole situation, the Lord really just showed me how important social work is and how important it is to love His children, especially like the orphans and the ones who don't have good family situations. Like they need the love of Christ just as much as everyone else.
Because of Maddie's passion, she has stepped into a coaching role, teaching young ladies the principles that she learned in volleyball.
Watching her coach her young girls, I mean, she started out coaching 13-year-olds, then 14s, and watching her interact with those girls, and it's fun sometimes to watch your players coach other people and to hear them say things that you have said to them, and it's very rewarding to see her do that.
The girls that she coached love her, and she's been such a really good role model for them. She always is fair and equal, calm, cool, collected. She has all the traits that you look for in a coach, and she kind of leads by example.
I've been a coach with ECJ for 3 years now, so I get to lead the devotionals with ECJ girls every practice, which is so fun. And I usually lead them for 12 through 14-year-old girls, and it's super exciting to get to see some of them like learn new things about the Lord and how sports can definitely relate to our relationship with Christ and how we can show our love for Christ through that.
Maddie's passion and energy may not always be visible, but it's still present.
Every time we get together, we're like, okay, we're just gonna go to Mary Toppins, we're gonna eat our froyo, and we're just gonna go home and go to bed. And we end up staying there for like 3 hours just talking about stuff. And it's like how it's the same like passion, but just comes out in different ways.
Everything that I do, I want to make sure that I'm enjoying it because we're only on this earth for a small amount of time, and like it's even if it's just silly or just trying to like grab someone's hand and like shake them a little bit just to make sure that they laugh, and that's something that I enjoy doing. Of just like, hey, like let loose, have a little fun. We're here for a certain amount of time, enjoy it, that kind of thing.
For SAGU SportsFEED, I'm Andrew Pena.
Thank you for joining us this season for SAGU SportsFEED. We'll see you on the field or on the court next fall.